So, what's your name? Where are you from? And then what do you do for a living at the moment?
My name is Greg. I'm from Sacramento, and I'm a professional sports gambler, content creator.
Perfect. And when did you start working with us?
In January, first of the year.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, first, yeah. Was it January or was it end of last year? Because I think we had our call last year.
Technically, we started a week before the New Year's, but
Right. It was running
yeah.
around that time. And then what sort of problem were you looking to solve through what was Carey's training, but is now Cerebellum Performance Coaching?
Well, I was looking to create sustainable habits for weight loss because I have a problem with my weight yo-yoing, and also improve athletic performance, specifically in strength, cardiovascular endurance, and flexibility.
Sweet. And what was sort of different or, what was special about Carey's training than Cerebellum Performance Coaching now than other health fitness services that maybe you've seen or tried before? What was different about it?
One of the main things that helped me was having a single voice. There's a lot of good fitness information on the internet, but sometimes you can get overwhelmed with it, and you spend too much time actually thinking and trying new things. To have one single voice, one training plan, to know, hey, it's okay to go over on your calories this week. Don't worry about it. You've hit 12 weeks in a row. That's why you plateaued. Hey, didn't do too good this week. Need to dial it back just a little bit. Um, and then, of course, there's so many different workout methods, right? To just be dialed into one. I had never done full body before, and now I'm completely in the full body train, and my legs have never been stronger.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, I remember that. You're like, what? We're doing at the beginning, you're like,
Yeah.
full body? We're not just doing the push
Yeah,
pull
we're doing like squats
whatever.
every day, or
Yeah.
legs every time.
Yeah. But sounds like you enjoyed it at the end. And so what were sort of your goals at the beginning of this year, 2024, starting out working with us?
Yeah, I was trying to lose some body fat, increase strength, and be able to run farther. I wanted to get back into distance running, something I was good at when I was younger, and had kind of lost the ability to do.
Yeah, no worries. Gotcha. And what are some, after we just sort of like went over your goals, what are like 1 to 3 big wins, big takeaways for you personally that you felt like you achieved through working with Cerebellum?
The number one big win that will take for a lifetime, and is probably putting years on my life, uh, was quitting smoking. And that was tough, and I had cut back. But with the cardiovascular training we were doing, it really hit home how much I was sabotaging my own progress, as far as being able to do the wind sprints, sprinting up the hills, doing the laps at the park. And that was something that the training really helped me with, because if I would have done it on my own, I would have just kept running 3 miles and run
Right.
around in a circle. Mixing in the sprints really helped me a lot. Number one, they're fun. And number two, I felt like I was gaining a little bit more strength out of the training, and not just running around in a circle and listening
Mhm.
to podcasts. So just the way that those workouts were set up really inspired me to quit smoking. That happened in February. I'm now 8 months smoke free, and the breathing has helped me so much. I've had more stamina. I feel like it's helped me on the strength training as well, because rather than, especially on my ab work, I think a lot of times my lung capacity was
Mm.
causing me to stop. Now I'm able to push harder on my abs, get a couple extra reps on each set. So I feel like that's why I've gained a lot of strength and size over the last year. So my major win that I'm going to take for me for the rest of my life, and like I said, probably put years on my life, was to quit smoking altogether, and not, still do that here and there. Um, Also done a better job of tracking my macros, understanding my macros, and um, when it's okay to go a little bit over, and when you really need to dial it back. So just through my experience and knowing when you said, hey, it's okay to go over 100 or 200 this week, or hey, we need to dial it back 100 or 200 this week. And learning maintenance on my macros was helpful too, because before I'd drop the weight, but then I go back up too far. So, hey, even in a bulk, right, we're only going 200 to 300 calories over. Whereas before I was probably going 1,000.
Right.
So that was my second big win. And thirdly, just dialing in the time I spent in the gym more efficiently. Um, I can't stress enough how much the increased emphasis on legs has improved my training and just my overall life. I'm a hiker. The hikes are getting easier. Looking in the, I don't know if you're looking in the mirror, but looking down, my legs look stronger than ever. And I'm getting that great endorphin rush off of every workout. So it's even helped me on the mental health. So main three ones would be quitting smoking, understanding macros and how to use them in a cut and a deficit, and then um, more efficient use of my time in my training.
That's amazing, man. And I mean, I remember when you first told me about the smoking, dude. I mean, that was because obviously that's not what we do is specifically help people stop smoking. But I think for you, it was just one of those things like you realized, this cardio was a huge goal of yours and it was something that you were excited about and you wanted to progress. And you're like, well, if I want to get better at the cardio, I sort of have to give up some things in order to reach that goal. And so I'm just so proud of your progress, dude, because that's just such an amazing story.
Yeah, thank you. I still feel it. Like sometimes I'm lying in bed before I fall asleep, and just the ability to take a big, huge breath. And
Right.
during my flexibility work, a lot of it is based on breathing. So that's helped me a lot here.
Amazing.
So my hamstring flexibility's got a lot better. Still working on the hips. For some reason, those guys are stubborn.
Of course. Yeah, me
Although
too.
to be fair, I read that because I'm a fairly good runner. I read that runners typically have tight hips. So
Hips and ankles. Yeah.
yeah, I'm not getting down on myself about that.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Okay. And so with what we were doing, obviously we were doing a lot. We were doing the exercise, nutrition. We were speaking once a week. Well, I was pretty much texting you every single day, but to sort of have a phone call, we were speaking once a week. And so we were doing, quite a bit of things. What are some things that maybe you're like, oh, I really, really enjoyed this. I wish we could have focused a little bit more on this part. Or maybe you're like, well, maybe I don't wish I did more of it, but I really want to put the emphasis on this was the most important part. And if there were, or if there are any, what are some things that you're like, this was somewhat helpful, but I feel like not really for me. So sort of those two things. What was really like important to you that we worked on? And then what were some things, if you can think of any, that you're like, maybe I didn't really need that too much for me personally.
Hmm. Um, well, I think helpful was definitely at the beginning. Our calls were talking about training, talking about macros, dialing that in. But then as we progressed, we kind of got into some of the root issues of it, right? And that's joking that it was more like going to see a
Therapy.
therapist at a certain point than a training call, right? Because we weren't, we're going to get to 12 reps here, or
Right.
bend your knees this way on the squat. It was really more of, why do you think you're overeating? Hey, we didn't hit the goal this week. Like, what was the root cause behind you? You knew what you needed to do and you didn't.
Mhm.
So we talked about some of the issues that might have led to overeating or not training. So that was definitely helpful.
Okay.
I don't really know. I can't really think of anything that we didn't do. We did too much of. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I think with you, because we had been working together for pretty much a year, it was basically like, okay, if you wanted to do a Zoom call every single week for 90 minutes, we could do that. But also it was like it's just sort of by the end, both of us had like super busy schedules and you were like moving around during that time. So we're doing more voice calls and things like that. So I think we are able to sort of personalize it as we went on to basically whatever you wanted and needed at that time. Whether that was more talking about exercise and reps and health and stuff like that on these calls, or whether it was more about habits and how we can sort of figure out root causes and things of that nature too. Um,
Yeah, and for people that are interested in signing up, one of the experiences I had is there'll be like a month where it doesn't really feel like much is going on, right? They're just normal check-ins. But the coaching acts as a safety net because there's months where the calls were 5 to 10 minutes.
yeah.
Hey, everything's great. I'm down a pound. I'm upset. I
Yep.
increased my 3 reps on the squats. Progressive overload's working. Great. And then there was times I texted you going, man, I'm overeating.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm throwing away my progress. And you're like, okay, well, we're scheduled for Friday, but emergency call, we're
Yeah.
jumping on tomorrow, you know.
Which is
And
normal. I
so,
mean, that happens.
yeah, it
So
acts like a safety net. So there'll be months where it just feels like, you're not doing much. And then there's other months where I know that, you really had to work a lot because I was, um, potentially throwing away my progress or
yeah,
having a lot of issues with the program. So, um,
and that's
it's a
how it
great
goes.
safety net. So that was one thing I want people to know.
Perfect. Yeah, man. And that's how it goes. That's how life is, ups and downs. And so with that, what type of individual, maybe not necessarily like it could be, but like age or demographic or job title or those sort of things, but also like more of like I guess on qualities type of individual, like what sort of person, if you were to sort of almost like a Build-A-Bear workshop, like sort of build a person who would benefit the most from this type of service, what sort of qualities or
I think
characteristics that
the
person?
person that's going to benefit from this is someone that's already started to take that first step. Josh isn't going to come over to your house and get you off the couch and throw away your potato chips. So it's someone that's already made a conscious decision. You know what? I want to eat better.
Mhm.
You know what? I'd like to work out 3 times a week. Or maybe I am, and I'm just, I've been benching the same amount for the past year.
Right.
And other guys in the gym, I see them getting bigger, and I'm not. So the person that this program's really going to help is someone who's already made that conscious decision that they want to help. And what it's going to do is it's number one, it's going to be the safety net. Number two, it's going to take away all the decision fatigue because there were some times, right, where I hit a plateau and man, should I cut calories? And you say, no, you're fine. But if I didn't have you there, I would have spent the whole week wondering, man, maybe I should be cutting calories, right? For you to just take that and say, nope, just keep going. Then I can go ahead and concentrate on my work,
Right.
my social life, whatever I want to worry about, and then just know, hey, I don't need to second guess this decision. Um, so someone that's already decided they want to make the commitment, but needs some help there because what working with Josh is going to do is it's going to take away your decision fatigue and it's just going to dial in the efficiency of your workouts. So for me, I'm fortunate to where I had time to do a lot of stuff, but for really busy people that only have, I got 3 times a week, I got 45 minutes. We don't want you wasting any time in the gym. And he's really going to dial it in. So those full 45 minutes, you're going to be increasing your goals of getting stronger and doing the right exercises. They're going to help you get stronger. And also that's going to lead to fat loss.
Yeah. Perfect. And like I said, Greg, I've really have enjoyed our time together on these last nine, oh, I mean, almost a year basically. And like sort of your progress, I know you wanted to do a little bit more with the running and, and sort of injuries got in the way and you overcame those, which was fantastic. And then obviously quitting smoking was huge. And that's something that's, like you said, not only going to affect your life right now, but obviously your longevity and everything in the future. Um, and so just wanted to sort of give you this opportunity right now. If there's anything else that you're like, hey, just wanted to give you some feedback, personally on how you could better sort of the experience for other people or if we could start again, like what we would do differently. Just because you're someone that I trust and, and value your opinion on what we're doing.
Hmm. Uh, Not a lot of feedback. Maybe I think the only thing that I remember was I didn't like cutting calories and upping the weights right off the bat. I think it's easier if you go at maintenance for the first 2 weeks and then start
Sure.
cutting the calories.
So,
Because I remember when we originally switched to 3 times a week on the legs,
Mhm.
I was dead. And I needed the extra calories, but then after 2 weeks, it was a lot easier
Right.
for me to cut. So maybe that with some new people, especially if they're not used to the full body training, because I know I came from the old bro way of today we do shoulders, today
Right.
we do chest, today
Right.
we do arms, today we do back, now
Mhm.
we do legs. Well, that's only one every 5 sessions. So a lot of times I was only doing legs only once every 2 weeks. And then I went to 3 times a week. And like I said, it got me stronger, but it was definitely a lot of, what's the right word? Metabolic or caloric pull on my body to make the
Yeah.
adjustment
Yeah.
of doing the legs right off the bat. But overall, I had a great experience, and I would recommend it to anyone. Like I said, especially if you've already made the commitment. I mean, don't think that he's gonna drive to your house and pull you off the couch,
Mm.
and turn off Netflix for you. But if you've decided this is something what you want to do, you're definitely gonna benefit from it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Barry. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you, and I've had a great